So, Jon Paul Dorn has been justifying why women would be correct in being violent with men, even if the man in question had done nothing to her. Now, I'd like to respond to this first with an analogy. I work as a teacher. I work with children as young as first grade and as old as middle school. So when the children come into my classroom, they are at any different point in their own lives, any different level of understanding or maturity. And it can vary quite a lot just within the same age group, let alone across the age groups. And there is a attitude or a philosophy that I take in dealing with kids when they misbehave, when they are difficult, when they are rude. And that is, there are no bad kids. Now, I know that that's not actually true. There are children who are capable of truly horrific evil, let alone children who, for neurological reasons, for psychological reasons, are simply beyond the help that they can get from a teacher. But that is not why I adopt the attitude of saying there are no bad kids. From where I sit as an adult interacting with these students, I have to assume, I have to operate under the assumption that there is something that I can do to help, that there is something that I can do for them, that by touching them somehow, I can lead them somewhere positive. Because if I don't have that attitude, then I will, under any circumstances, be unable to help. I will, under any circumstances, be unable to be positive. Whether they were bad kids when they came to me or not, the outcome will be the same, exactly as if they were. All right, so that's the analogy. I see this applying broadly throughout society. You see, any prejudice can find a justification. Whoever it is you're scared of, whoever it is you consider a threat, if it's because of their race, because of their religion, because of their gender, you can find a reason to justify your prejudice. You will always be able to positively confirm any kind of bias. That then creates an attitude. If you perceive a threat, you ask yourself, what do I have to do to protect myself from that threat? And that's fine, that's still rational. But you work hard to put yourself in a position where that threat is constantly reinforced in your mind. And eventually you protect yourself from everything. You protect yourself from everyone. You end up in a corner, in a box, in your own house, not going outside, not looking for the good in people. And so you end up in this position asking, why is it that the world is so hostile? Why is it no one understands? Why is it I can't go outside and feel safe? And at some point, it stops being about the world. It stops being about the people who are out there and has everything to do with you. The danger that you feel is something you've created. Are men a threat to women? Well, in the strictest, most absolute sense, yes. The strong are a threat to the weak. The big are a threat to the small. And so, by and large, men are a threat to women. Can all men potentially be rapists? Well, in the sense that men have sexual equipment that when aroused can be forcibly inserted into someone. In that sense, all men can potentially be rapists. In the strictest literal sense. But just as I say, there are no bad children, I also say that it makes no sense and it gets you nothing to have an attitude, an approach to life built around this literal, negative obsession. You see, there are people out there interested in equality. Now, if you are not, then spend your time focusing on the differences between men and women. Yeah, the differences are there. Our species is sexually dimorphic. But so what? Equality isn't about eliminating difference. Equality as an ideal is about establishing social frameworks, social parameters where the differences don't, in and of themselves, matter. Where everyone is held to the same standard of behavior, the same accountability, regardless of these different factors that are beyond their control. Whatever your justification is for looking out there and saying, well, you know what? You're justified in your violence against that person, even though they did nothing to earn it. They, as an individual, did nothing to earn your violence. They, as an individual, did nothing to earn your contempt. Then at that point, you have forever destroyed the concept of equality. Justice is now an impossible thing to obtain, because all that matters is the evilness and the rottenness that can exist in an individual, and how it is they justify, odiously and contemptibly, vomiting it out on other people. There are those out there who are interested in equality. But these kinds of arguments about why it's right to hit a man, why we should get behind women who do, those just hold everyone back.